We've all seen the movies. Swords flash in the sunlight, sand sprays under the feet of doomed warriors, and a roaring crowd decides the fate of bloodied champions with a wave of the thumb. Gladiator fights are the ultimate symbol of ancient Rome, or so Hollywood tells us. But what if everything you think you know about the arena is wrong? Hollywood armor, fact versus fiction. Let's start with the look. In the movies, every gladiator seems to wear whatever armor suits the mood. Bare-chested heroes with gleaming swords, mysterious masked killers, or sometimes warriors, dressed head to toe in fantasy armor. In reality, Rome's arenas had strict rules. Each type of gladiator had a specific set of weapons and armor, and these were instantly recognizable. A Thracian wore a high-crested helmet, a curved sword, a round shield, a single greave on the left leg, and a heavy arm guard on the right. The Murmillo, his rival, battled under a fish-crested helmet, carried a broad shield and a straight sword, and wore protective gear on both arm and leg. Every detail had meaning, down to the last buckle. Gladiators didn't just choose their gear. They were slotted into distinct classes with long traditions and carefully matched rivalries. Fans followed these matchups like modern sports fans debate tactics. Retiarius versus Secutor was as legendary a debate as any Super Bowl rivalry. So, if a gladiator had entered the arena without a helmet, or wearing full plate like a medieval knight, the Roman crowd would have been scandalized. It'd be like a boxer climbing into the ring with brass knuckles, ridiculous, unfair, and against every rule. The real structure of Roman games movies loved to mix it up. Gladiators, wild beasts, and mass executions all at once, day or night, just to keep the drama high. But the true Roman games were a carefully structured marathon. The show began at dawn, with bestiarii fighting wild animals, condemned criminals sent out with little hope of survival. Next came the venatores, hunters and animal tamers, not always facing danger, but entertaining the crowd with trained animals, exotic displays, or even comic skits involving deer, camels, or rabbits. After midday, the mood turned darker. Public executions. These brutal displays were intended to show the crowd the power of Rome over lawbreakers and enemies. Only in the evening did the real gladiator matches begin, sometimes in pairs, sometimes in groups, often reenacting legendary battles or famous moments from myth and history. These bouts were the main event, the ultimate test of Roman valor, skill, and nerve. Films mash all this together, but in truth, each phase had its own meaning, and the crowd knew exactly what to expect. Blood and sand, the real stakes of the arena. And what about all that gore? Films like Gladiator and Spartacus show every fight as a duel to the death, a slaughter for the pleasure of a bloodthirsty mob. But that's another myth. Most gladiatorial combats did not end in death. Capitulation, surrender, was common and accepted. If a gladiator was exhausted, wounded, or simply outmatched, he could raise 2 fingers to ask for mercy. Most of the time, unless he'd fought poorly or dishonorably, the editor, the man running the games, would spare him. The infamous thumbs down meant death only in rare cases, usually when the crowd and the editor agreed a man had failed to show courage or skill. In fact, Roman fans came for the drama, the skill, the suspense, not just for blood. They admired a fighter's technique, his flair, his courage in the face of defeat. Of course, the risk was real. Wounds were common, and about 5 to 10% of gladiators might die from a fight or its aftermath. But death was a grim byproduct, not the purpose of the spectacle. What Hollywood never shows. So next time you watch a gladiator movie, look closely. Is that helmet accurate? Is the matchup one the Romans would have cheered? Does the crowd crave blood, or are they watching the greatest sporting event of their age, where fame and freedom, not just death, hang in the balance? The reality of the Roman arena was more complex, more dramatic, and, perhaps, more human than any Hollywood epic ever dared to show. What other movies get it right, or terribly wrong, about Rome? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold history.